I hope you enjoyed that first episode, learning more about who I am, where I was brought up, and all the other important experiences that I went through that helped shape the way BiG is run. And I hope you equally enjoy episode 2 as we go into a little bit more detail about my teenage years. Enjoy.
2-1 and winning it with a cracking goal from winger Lionel Best.
Hiya, how you doing here?
Are you ready for episode 2?
Absolutely.
How you been, mate? You been alright?
Yeah, been good. Always a lot of work to do, but you just got to get on with it.
So we've got a fair bit of time to fit in episode 2 today.
Absolutely.
And we left off on episode 1 talking about your adolescence or early adolescence from obviously birth to up to 16 years old. Now we're going to move on to your maybe switch of mentality where you stopped playing football at 16. Take the floor. What happened there?
Yeah, I mean, I stopped playing football at 16, and when I look back on it, it was actually quite a really vital, critical decision that could have actually led to me being a professional footballer or not. It was a really, you always get to sort of like crunch points in your life, and that clearly was one of them. Sometimes you don't know, well, most of the time you don't know at the time. But as I said last time, my mum went mad when I stopped playing football.
So the environmental factors were an issue in terms of the teams that you were playing for. And the mentality of the lads that were playing at that time was a deterrent as well, or?
I think that had something to do with it. I mean, I've been thinking long and hard about it. Obviously, all through my life, I always thought or believed that, you know, a lot of the racism that I endured with what's meant to be your teammates, not directed at me, and that's where they thought it was okay, but just being racism, directing their racism with opposition, it just started to jar me. It just started to just get to me. You know, as I said in episode 1, when I first was encountering a lot of that experience from when I first joined the team at the age of 9, I kind of internalized it. I just kind of kept it to myself. Like the older you get, you know, getting into secondary school, you're in a different world where everything is more mixing and blending and diverse, and everybody's just getting on, as I can recall. And then you're becoming a teenager and an adolescent yourself. I think it just got a bit too much.
So fundamentally, if I can jump in there, Lionel, the obviously racism that you might have been, you know, kind of taking, was it understood at a very early age that's what it was, and then when you got older you were like, mate, wow, like that's what it is, or did you know what it was from early, or
I think,
or did you kind of,
most of us on Osprey Estate, we call it the docks, me and the Surrey Docks boys, now known as Surrey Keys. You know that it's not right, and it's rude, and it's people trying to take liberties. But you don't, or did I actually really relate it to hardcore racism? Because that was just a way of life. And what we had to do, we had to just defend ourselves, and we just had to fight verbally. And if anybody wanted to try and physically do anything to us, which happened, we had to just look after ourselves. So whether I saw it as racism, because it was everywhere. Even when we were playing football in Southwark Park, which they had a lot of competitions in five-a-side competitions in Southwark Park. You got it there, but we just used to turn it to our strength. And we just used to beat them in football and smile and laugh, and that was our way of getting of answering.
Yeah. It's just overcoming it.
Responding to it.
Yeah.
But I suppose then you start getting older, and then you start appreciating that actually this is the word racism, and this is.
So my question was pertinent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is not right, and this is unacceptable. You know. So again, I think that's where it led to the big switch as well. But I can't blame it all on that. I think I was getting to a young man as well, 15, 16. A lot of my friends was doing things that I wasn't doing, because in my mind and my focus was I just wanted to be a footballer. Some of them was, you know, had their first experience of drink earlier, and other recreational
I get the gist. Yeah.
Including going out and
partying, everything.
I kind of didn't. I went along in some cases, but that wasn't really within me. But then I got to 16, and it's almost like everything just went crazy from there. My mindset changed. I kind of left school and went to college. Lots of freedom in college, and I do appreciate now why there's a lot of parents that prefers their children to stay in sixth form in the school structure rather than going to college, because you have to be a certain type of student and a disciplined student to manage the temptations.
Just staying within that framework for an extra year
of studying, because there was a lot of different temptations, because we've got a lot of freedom, etc. And that freedom didn't suit me in a good way, even though at the time I was enjoying myself and thought, oh, this is great. So I stopped playing football at 16, went to college, started getting into bad habits, and one thing I've got to keep, I always say this, I look back and I say to myself, you've got to give yourselves props, Lion, because I've done it for a year, and then I thought to myself, I never got my qualifications, which was, you know, I tried to kid myself that I'd done enough studying. Of course I didn't do enough studying, I was not really in to do the studying, and then I didn't get hardly any qualifications in college. I went to college to do my O-levels, because I never got my O-levels in school. O-levels being, in the modern day, the upper end of GCSEs. CSEs and O-levels. Now it's GCSEs.
That took over in the early 90s, GCSEs.
Absolutely. And then you can't move anywhere academically without your O-levels, because if you want to go uni, you need A-levels, but you can't get the A-levels without the O-levels, which is almost like the upper end of GCSE.
So prospectively, I was sort of thinking that, okay, 16, you stop playing football, you're out with the lads, obviously maybe getting your driving licence, all that sort of thing, independence. But what else happened in your mentality to go, I don't want to be a footballer anymore? That was pretty much lots of people your age's dream, you know?
The enjoyment of life.
Did you not look too further down the road, or was it about now at that time?
About now. I think at the time, as I said, quite a few of my friends involved in certain things earlier, and I didn't. Everybody knew, like, Lionel's not interested in nothing else. Even girls, he's not interested in girls, he just wants to play football. Give him a football and he's alright. That was my mentality.
And that's how people saw you?
And that's how people saw me, but that's how I was. I wasn't interested in playing anything else. Back in the days, there was, you know, a couple of little computer games, not interested in it. We had those Space Invader type games.
Tetris and all that sort of stuff.
in the kebab shops. Wasn't good at it, never good at them games, wasn't interested in it. My brother used to say, like, when I was younger, play cars, never interested.
So you would like take your football out, kick it against the wall, that sort of stuff, you were that trained on it.
Just on that.
So then at 16, did you say, well, I've kind of just done this too much, I need to explore other avenues of life?
Absolutely. I thought at the time, boy, football dominated my life, and I can kind of understand and I wasn't even in the academy, so I can understand why people, when they kind of go through that same sort of experience that I'm discussing, but they're actually in the academy, you know, which is actually more pressure. They get to a certain age and it's too much for them. They've had too much focus on football, but certainly in the academy world, it's so disciplined and it takes up all your life. You're training 2 days a week and you're going training on the Saturday and playing academy matches on the Sunday. It's not just a nightmare for you, it's a nightmare for your family. Your parents have got to take you.
Yeah,
so it was that type of thing without the structured element of it, because I wasn't in the academy, but my mindset was just wanted to be a footballer. So again, got involved in just enjoying myself, going out and things like that. As you mentioned, I did get my driving licence quite early. You can't get your driving licence till 17. I didn't start learning to drive. However, at 16, and I got my driving licence at 17.
Just for my information, was driving licence like really easy to get back in?
Well, I just think, like, when I hear...
I mean, the driving test must be, yeah.
What they got to go through to get their licence and things, either my memory doesn't serve me that great. We had to do theory.
Yeah.
But the theory don't seem like the theory that the
yeah, it's really long now, yeah.
It's almost like an exam.
Yeah.
And it's a two-stage thing.
Yeah.
We had to do theory before the practical.
But the actual practical test wasn't that deep, was it? Like
practical, I passed on the second go.
Okay.
So I'm not saying it's easy. Some people, other people I know, I'm not going to name names, passed on the third go.
Yeah.
So it's not something that was easy.
But easier, basically.
I don't know about the practical element if it was easier. I just my understanding from what I hear people say, the theory side of it is the
easier bit.
Difference, where I don't think we had to go through all of that people these days have to go through.
Yeah.
And
obviously,
they have to kind of.
Obviously, roads change. There's loads of different signs. It's all different. Yeah.
Now they got bring or involve things like sat nav into it and follow a sat nav.
Yeah. Hazard perception, all of this sort of stuff. Yeah. Anyway, I digressed a little bit there with that question, but so obviously, what was the kind of, when did it give after all the partying, all of that sort of stuff? When did you have that light bulb moment to say?
Well, I think just finishing off on that switch, because there's a number of things that happened
go ahead. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
I went to college for a year, and I have to give myself props, as I was just saying. After a year, I just knew college wasn't for me. I knew I want to make something of my life, but you're not an academic person with the discipline to go and try and get qualifications to move up. I just knew that I needed to get in this decent job, stable job, and work my way up. That was my mentality.
That was your mentality.
I remember thinking that. So I went and saw my first job was in a shop, part-time job at 16. Shop called Hugo. Used to sell all clothes and things. I remember that. I think back in the days, I think every week we were a bit more proactive than a lot of the youngsters these days, I believe. Some youngsters are proactive, they go out, but everything's different now, everything's through agency. We used to have to put CVs on, put together our CVs and then go out to places and actually hand it out and see if there's any vacancies and get jobs and things like that. I'm not saying it's not like that today, but there was more proactive.
It was
that.
More hands-on touch.
And face-to-face stuff, and a lot of people my age group, we did get jobs.
Obviously, no internet back then and stuff like that.
Nothing. You just had to go on the street and just go and ask for work. But I remember I actually started thinking. I got that job just before I went to college because I actually was thinking, do I just do this job? And I thought, no disrespect to people in retail, but I just thought I don't think that's a future for me. So then I went to college. Then I came out of college and then I thought, that's not for me. I need to get to a stable job. So I found a vacancy for a civil service job, but it was only a temporary job for 1 year. And it was for the Department of Environment back in them days. But it was a special job. It was in Property Services Agency, PSA. I'm surprised I remember that. But what that job was about, it was supporting an executive officer, EO, executive officer, who was responsible to go around all these stores and modernise all these stores in these fantastic places.
Oh, mate, that sounds like quite a
Buckingham Palace. I was working in Royal Mews, which is the stable part of Buckingham Palace. I was working in Chelsea Barracks. I was working in the Flower Place, Hampton Court.
Yeah.
I was working in Hampton Court.
Like Kew Gardens, all them places.
Kew Gardens. Yeah. I was working all these really fantastic places.
Great landmarks, yeah.
And landmarks that I was working. I remember when we was working in Buckingham Palace and we was able to do the tour, etc. Obviously, I'm a 16, 17-year-old kid.
That's an amazing opportunity for someone your age.
It was an amazing opportunity. But I didn't see it as an amazing opportunity. It was just something, oh yeah, okay. I was so flippant about it.
Yeah.
I remember when my EO, the executive officer, he was taking pictures sitting on the throne.
No way.
Like that.
Yeah.
That was my attitude.
Didn't mean that much to you.
I didn't take no pictures. It's only now when I got older I thought,
You're like,
wow, I should have taken pictures. I'm telling people I used to work in Buckingham Palace and I could have had
So essentially, it wasn't. You didn't feel like it was a big deal what you were doing then, but now you're like, in hindsight, you're like.
It was like, and again, that was the start of my civil service journey. Even though that was an isolated job because it was a temporary job for a year. But I finished that and I actually found a permanent job in the civil service for the Department of Trade and Industry at the time. So there was about a 4 months gap when I wasn't working, but then I went straight into the civil DTI with my first job being in Officer Telecommunication, which was like an offspring of DTI. The ones that police actually they don't, radio communication do that because we were working in the same building as radio communication, all the pirate radio stations and things.
Okay.
But what we did, we used to answer a lot of complaints about British Telecom, whether it was the bills or whether it was the service and things like that. But that was the start of my main civil service career in 1987. And I just knew I needed to just be in a stable job and try and thrive, and try to just keep moving up, which I did. I kind of found my X factor. My X factor was all about resource management. It was all about using, even though this is when information technology sort of like started to come in the precipice. Because when I was in Oftel, it was just more about complaints and things like that. So I started using. I was very good at Excel, very good at Access data.
What year are we talking?
We're talking about probably 90s, 91.
Okay, so
because I came in as an administration assistant right at the bottom because I never had no great qualifications, and then I started climbing admin officer, and I was responsible for putting in place systems to make life easier for my team and my superiors, and then that became my X factor. And something that today, if I never picked up the skills that I picked up in the civil service, I probably wouldn't be here today running my business. Because I've had to run my business with very, very minimal resources. But I've been able to manage that really bad environment because of the skills that I've picked up, and I've got resource management systems to help with everything. So it's really interesting to talk about that because I'm going to come back and relate to that with my football. I remember one morning where me and my pal had a good few drinks the night before. I was sitting in my house, we were sitting in our house, because that was a really popular thing that we used to do back in the days. We used to just hang in each other's houses rather than being out and about if we didn't have anywhere to go. Listening to music, chilling, having the boys around, it was a really common thing. And he got a call from another pal of ours, who was mainly more his pal that I knew through him, and said, "Fancy playing football today?" This is like 18 years old now.
Okay.
"Fancy playing football today?" And he goes, "I just joined the team," but they need players. And my pal said, yeah, I don't mind playing. He goes, I'm with my pal Besty, and he's not a bad player.
Yeah.
So I'll bring him. And he said, yeah. So we've got up, because this is a Sunday, and a little bit worn because we've been having a few drinks the night before. And that was the day I met that was when I met who became like a father figure to me. The manager of a team called Elms.
Okay.
He saw me and he just started laughing. He saw me play and he just started laughing. He said, "Who did you play for?" I said, no one.
Yeah.
He goes, "You're wasting your talent." That's the first thing he said to me. This is 2 years after football. I ain't even kicked the ball. I just about found a pair of boots.
So after, you know, you're dabbling into this, like, you know, the job that you had, the partying, all of that, it's all led to this point here.
It all led to this point, 8 years of age, and, you know, and it was a great, they're like a family. I still got a WhatsApp group with my Elms lads, and most of us, because of this guy, his name Clinton Raw, I have to pick up Clinton Raw, and, you know, hopefully we can show a picture of Clinton. He's passed now,
Okay.
and his legacy is living on through many people, including myself. From Clinton, I could spend a whole podcast speaking about Clinton.
Okay.
Which I will do.
We will do, yeah.
But he was the one who, as soon as he saw me, he said to me, "You're wasting your time, you're wasting your talent." So I started playing for Elms. They were on and then he said to me, "Do you want to come and play for us on the Saturday?" Because they were in both a Saturday and a Sunday league. And I said, yeah, I don't mind playing. So that was through Clinton and that opportunity getting back into football, and I started getting the bug back for football. There's a bigger story around that, because I then met my pal called Gary Thomas, who I think I spoke to you about earlier, who I knew from school. He was 3 years older than me, but I knew him, he knew me, all ballers knew each other. We played all our matches at Blackheath, and every football team in our school, St Thomas Apostle, would always know the ballers. Everyone knows the ballers, even though they're older than you. So I knew Gary from school. He was a skillful player. I knew him, I respected him as he respected me. So one day, we talk about this all the time because I'm still good friends with Gary. And he's the only other person, sorry, there was a few other people that went semi-pro, but in our core team that we had excellent players, me and Gary played the longest and I think made the biggest impact in semi-pro.
Gotcha.
He played for Sutton, I played for Dulwich.
Okay.
We'll come on to that. But when I bumped into Gary on the Saturday outside Elms, they were playing at home, we were going away or the other way around. He said, "What are you doing there?" I said to him, "I'm playing football." He goes, "Oh yeah. Who'd you play for?" "Are we playing against you?" I said, "Elms." He said, "Elms?" He said, "You can't be playing for Elms because I'm playing for Elms."
No way.
And I said, "Yeah, I'm playing for Elms." This is after I played a couple of games.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what I haven't said, I was playing for Elms' second team, and Gary was playing for Elms' first team.
Okay.
So the crowd that I went with, and Clinton, who asked me to come and play, they were all the second team, and it was just me getting back into football and all that, and it didn't bother me. We didn't have a bad side, but at that time, Elms was disjointed anyway because they had somebody else managing the first team, and then Clinton managing the second team. And Clinton was the governor, the big man, which you'll hear the way the team and
Okay, yeah, we'll get there.
But Gary said, "Are you talking about you're playing for the second team? I play for the first team, and what are you doing playing for the second team?" So he's gone and said to the manager. The manager was a guy who was just the brother of the goalkeeper. Wasn't very. He was just there to help do the favour of running the team.
Yeah.
The team. So he went and said to the guy, "No, you need to get Besty on our team. We need Besty to play for the first team." And just to cut a long story short, in about 4 months, the whole structure of Elms changed. Clinton, who was the stronger character and the person who was needed in the first team, became the first team manager. All the good players, including myself, had to then come into the first team because the first team needed a little bit strengthening up as well.
Yeah.
So that was the first time that we had a nice little blend with Elms having the proper first and second. And don't get me wrong, the second team were good as well. But what happened then was we became one big, massive family where we had great football experience, but better experience in the pub. so we that's when the experience of Elm started, where we had a fantastic journey on the football pitch with lots of successes, but just equally fun, social, through night outs that we used to have together, but we were associated with new people on what used to be Kings on the Rye, East Dulwich, and used to spend a lot of our Fridays down there.
So very much quite a big pub culture going on.
Big.
You know.
We used to go to the pub called the George after every game and just talk about the game. It was like brilliant to talk about the game.
Yeah.
Everyone used to think I was cheeky. I used to drink back then. I used to just say to people, go and buy me a drink and I'll talk to you about my girl. Let's talk about my girl.
Yeah.
That was a common known fact that Besty will come in, one buy a drink, it's just say to people, go and buy me a drink and talk to you about my girl. Most weeks I will score.
So talk to me about the skill level then for a team in Elms at that time. Was it a mixed age team, or was it kind of was it young or just like?
It was kind of mixed age but we only had, I think our oldest players probably was late 20s.
Okay.
We came into the team, some of the younger ones at 18.
So you're 18, 19 at this time?
19.
Okay.
We had a few players that were 20, 22, then we had a few that were 25 and 26.
Any players that went up the ladder from that or?
No.
No?
And this is the surprising thing that we always speak about, because we had excellent players. I'm going to name them. You know, we had a player called David Fleming who had trials and should have really.
And what year are we talking here?
Clint was brilliant. Clint, the manager, he got quite a few of us different opportunities. David Fleming had a trial at Norwich, Luton, round about probably about 2 years after I was playing for Elms. I was 20. So that probably was about 89.
89, okay.
Something around that time. But we had, the team we had, you could go through the keeper, we had a couple of keepers, you know, that kind of joined along the journey of my short journey at Elms, because it was a short journey in comparison, because Clint got me into senior level football at 22. Then our fullbacks was brilliant, Mark Amina, Tony Blunders. Then we had our centre backs, Dennis Chambers, who went on to play some semi-pro football, so did Mark Amina. Barry Thomas, who you heard me speak about, his brother.
Yeah.
You know, first time I met Gary, I didn't know Gary because Gary was much older than me, but you know, he was fantastic quality. Then we had the midfield, we had Gary Thomas, myself. Look, we just had a team. We had Troy Fleming up front. We were so dangerous and very, very talented. Sorry guys, I know I've missed out quite a few. I'm trying to be structured with needing to move on. But we had a great set of boys at Elms. And most of us, everyone talks about, if it wasn't in this modern day where there's a lot of scouts about the place.
You would have been someone who's snapped up.
We would have been snapped up, you know, or given the opportunity, because again, being given the opportunity is totally different than actually making it, because it's more about your mentality and everything else that goes with it.
Yeah.
Which is why, you know, some of the ones who did get opportunities probably didn't get there because the mentalities wasn't right. We didn't have the right people in the right schooling. A lot of us was in bad social habits anyway, like the drinking and things. We just was talented players. But even at 18 in that first year, when Clint saw the talent, straight away he just wanted to get involved, get connected with a guy called Tony Davies. Tony Davies is another guy I love to bitch. Tony Davies was one of 3 people that kind of was instrumental in getting an opportunity for Ian Wright to go to Palace.
Okay.
Because they were 10 and B men, where Ian Wright played for. I'm not 100% sure of the actual facts of the journey with Ian Wright, but I know he kind of went Greenwich Borough from 10 and B, and then kind of I think he got snapped up. With that being the last club, but he was at 10 and B, and I know the guys kind of done a lot to open up the opportunity. So Clinton was very keen to kind of get in touch with Tony Davies about me, and to get me a trial.
Okay.
So at 18, they got me a trial. Got a trial for 2 years, 2 weeks, at Palace, and because the mentality wasn't right, I didn't take full advantage of that.
And that is the end, and hope you really enjoyed that chat with me and Lionel. This one was a really good episode. Again, really enjoyed filming it with Lionel, learning a bit more each episode. And please, as I said at the end of the last video, please like and subscribe to both channels, Aaron Lewis Central and Besty's Inspirational Guidance, on YouTube and all other platforms, which will be in the link below the video. Thank you so much for watching.